Hey everyone, book 4 in Miss Colman's class is called Second Grade Baby, and this one features Natalie. On the front cover, I think Natalie looks adorable. I love her plaid jumper skirt outfit. I love those shoes with the T-strap. She looks super cute. I also like the boys' Converse. The girl in the purple, not so much. That dress isn't really flattering. Whatever. So this book is focused on Natalie, which is nice because so much throughout this series and throughout The Babysitter's Little Sister, all the kids really make fun of Natalie. So it was nice to see her perspective. So the first thing, we know that all the kids think Natalie is a baby, but in the very first chapter, we learn that she's well aware of that stereotype and she doesn't like it. She, in particular, as one example, realizes that mom has sewn labels in all of her clothing with her name and address on them. And I get it. Mom's worried that maybe if she loses her clothing somewhere, but Natalie is not happy there, and she thinks it's just another way of being treated like a baby. One thing in particular that really dates this book is she's trying to pick out what to wear one day. And she says, her fuzzy kitten sweater, no. Her Barney and Baby Bop shirt, no way. And it's like, that's kind of funny because it's just so outdated at this point. So the next day at school, and Natalie tells us that she does like school because she doesn't really have a lot of friends, particularly friends in the neighborhood. That sometimes she'll see Karen, but outside of school, she doesn't really have any friends. So she does like to go to school for that reason, at least. She also points out that Hanny and Nancy are not likely to tease Natalie. So that's good. Hanny and Nancy are better characters than Karen. So then mom is terrible. So Mrs. Springer comes to school, and this is on page 9. It says, Miss Colman and Mrs. Springer stepped into the room. Hi, Miss Colman, Mrs. Springer replied. I just brought this for Natalie. Mrs. Springer held up a brown paper bag. She forgot it this morning. It is her underwear. Her ballet class is this afternoon, and Natalie needs a change of clothes. Mrs. Springer waved to Natalie, then she left. Poor Natalie. Because this school surprises me. In the current era, parents could not just walk into the room. They would just have to leave the bag in the office. So she could have handled this so much better. She could have left it in the office, or she could have just said Natalie forgot something. She didn't need to say Natalie forgot her underwear. That's terrible. So eventually they are working on another project, which Miss Colman got from one of her friends. Actually, she read it in a magazine. If this book was set in the current era, she would have read it on Pinterest, but whatever. So the idea is, and Miss Coleman's class is going to copy this, they are going to bring in a stuffed animal, and they're going to send him on an adventure around the world. That they're going to put a tag on around his neck and ask people who see him to take him on an adventure and send a postcard. So, first of all, I love this plan. It's like a flat Stanley, but it's better, I guess. I absolutely love this idea, but I also think it's really unrealistic. So Miss Colman asks the kids to bring in a stuffed animal or a doll, and they'll vote on which one's going to represent the class. And that right there is a bad idea because we know it's pretty unlikely that the critter is going to be sent back. Miss Colman should have gone to the Dollar Tree and bought something there, or the Family Dollar, whatever. Heck, she could have gone to the thrift store and bought something for $0.25. But instead, Natalie brings in her favorite bear, who's called Buzzy Bear. And Grandpa actually bought Buzzy Bear for Natalie the day she was born. So I am very surprised both that Mom and Miss Colman are letting this bear go on the journey. So eventually they make up a tag for him, and Miss Colman's friend is going on a business trip. So she is going to take the bear and leave him at the airport. So that's all fine and good. In the current era, I'm worried that TSA would think the bear probably has drugs in his belly and throw him out, but I'm just being cynical. So they very soon get a postcard from Chicago, and the kids decide that they're going to learn all about Chicago. And this is on page 43. I wonder where Buzzy will go next, said Audrey. While they waited to find out, they learned about Chicago and about Illinois. They learned that the state bird of Illinois is the cardinal, and the state flower is the violet. Let's find out the bird and the flower for every state, said Karen. So they started a list. And again, do these kids not have any curriculum? They're just willy-nilly. Second graders are deciding what to learn. Miss Colman, go learn some curriculum or follow a course map or something. So after Chicago, they get a letter from Dallas. They get a postcard from Wyoming. He gets to go to Grand Teton National Park. He goes up to Canada. And then eventually he gets to go over to Europe. He spends time in London. And then this is crazy. It's on page 47. Buzzy's next card was from Paris, France. The next was from Milan, Italy. And the next was from Warsaw in Poland. And this is just so unrealistic. I mean, this is ideal world that the bear is having such a great adventure and everyone is buying into it. But I just don't really find this to be realistic, and I think it sets unrealistic expectations for kids. So getting towards the end, the bear has been gone for over a month, and Natalie and even Miss Colman says that it kind of seems that perhaps he's not going to come back, and Natalie starts to cry, and I get it, and all the kids are total jerks, and they laugh at her. But finally, Miss Colman sends Natalie out on a pretend errand, and she finally calls out the class for being jerks. As soon as she was gone, Miss Colman said to her class, "Can you tell me why you laughed at Natalie just now?" No one said a word. "I am serious," Miss Colman went on. "I would really like to know why you laughed at her." Ian raised his hand. Because she was crying," he mumbled. "And you thought that was funny?" Miss Colman said. And it's nice to actually see Miss Colman acting like an adult instead of letting the second graders run everything. So the end of the book is the kids pool together some money and buy Natalie a replacement bear. And then, of course, like the next day, the original Buzzy comes home. He was in Ireland and his tag had fallen off. So thankfully, the little girl who found him saw that mom had sewn a name and address tag inside, and Buzzy comes home and they all live happily ever after. The end. So I did like this book. I really liked hearing Natalie's point of view, that so often she's just really teased and diminished and berated by the other children. So it was nice to see things from her perspective. I love the idea, the Flat Stanley idea, with the character traveling around the world and having all sorts of adventures. Every so often on a slow news day, you'll see a similar story where a stuffed animal or something is forgotten on a plane and the flight attendants, pose him in the seats and let him walk up in the cockpit and have all sorts of adventures. So I do love stories like that. I liked it. It was unrealistic. That's okay. It's a book for little kids. I can't expect every single thing to be perfect truth at all times. So I did like this one. I think of the books so far in the series, this one has definitely been the best one. This was called The Kids in Miss Colman's Class, Second Grade Baby. Thanks for watching. Bye.